at 5, 6, and 10. Erica Harris, 12 News.
Now on 12 News, heading for higher ground. 12 News is on the swollen Sabine River as people brace for historic flooding across Newton County in the coming days. Plus, rescues and evacuations by boat and by helicopter. Crews are getting people out of flooded homes as Newton County continues to brace for record-setting river flooding.
Floodwaters are heading down the Sabine towards Deweyville. Find out what county officials are doing to prepare the area.
Get out while he can.
And Deweyville homeowners racing against the clock, struggling to prepare for a wall of water heading down from Toledo Bend and record flooding. While some are scrambling to head for higher ground, see why others are choosing to stay.
Live from Southeast Texas, 12 News at 5 starts now.
Welcome to 12 News. I'm Erica Harris. We continue to track the rising Sabine River, putting thousands of people at risk for flooding. And the water is still coming downstream, forcing Newton County to issue a mandatory evacuation for people living along the river beginning at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Tyler County has issued a voluntary evacuation order. We turn to Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn with a look at which communities are at risk for severe flooding.
Erica, we're just going to focus on the Sabine River. Everybody else, every other river and waterway will see either minor to moderate flooding. It's the severe and the historic flooding that we're focusing on right now. In Burkeville, they've already reached historic levels, never been higher in recorded history. 53.8 feet. It'll stay there until further notice. Most concerned right now because of Deweyville, and this is going to be, could be catastrophic flooding in Deweyville. Many, if not most homes in Deweyville could be underwater. Currently 24.4 feet. It's going to rise to 34.2 feet. At 29 feet, the town could be cut off. So this is going to be a good 2 feet above anything ever recorded in the past 130 years. Bon Weir, major flooding ongoing at 37.5 feet now, rising to 39.8 feet Sunday afternoon. And Orange flooding, major there, and it is expected to rise to 6.8 feet by Wednesday morning. Certainly looks like some issues coming up along and around the city of Orange. More on your forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Patrick. We have all the angles covered tonight when it comes to flooding, the preparations, the evacuations, and the road closures. We begin with Newton County's response and those mandatory evacuations. More than 100 police and emergency agencies are staging in Southeast Texas. 12 News reporter Izzy Castro is here with how they are preparing for a disaster.
Erica, agencies using everything from rescue boats to helicopters. So far, 3 people have been rescued by air. An emergency command center has been placed at the Jasper County Courthouse Annex as Newton County continues to be under a local state of disaster. Crews have been rescuing people out of flooded homes all over Newton County since last night. This is what Trout Creek looked like today. That water there is about 5 feet deep. Here you can see an 18-wheeler stuck in the middle of FM 1416. It's been there since last night. Officials say it is the highest level of water they have seen in Newton County.
A very bad situation over there with the flooding, and we really need the people in Newton County to pay heed to the voluntary evacuation order if you live along that river.
Newton County Judge Truman Doherty ordered a mandatory evacuation for residents along the Sabine River from Burkeville to Deweyville. Coming up at 6, you'll hear from a mother of 4 who lost her entire home in those floods. In the studio, Ezzy Castro, 12 News.
Thank you, Ezzy. South now to Deweyville, where a developing story. Newton County Sheriff's deputies are going door to door, telling anyone living along the Sabine River it's time to get out. That mandatory evacuation order extending all along the Sabine River in Newton County. 12 News reporter Ryan Henson continues our team coverage live from Deweyville High School, where a shelter is expected to be set up by tomorrow. Ryan.
Now, first responders and county officials want everyone in the area to know two things. Get out now while there's still time, and if you have nowhere else to go, come here to Deweyville High School. County officials are preparing to make this the evacuation center for the southern part of the county. The principal, Brad Hayquist, says when everything is up and running, they'll have enough food to feed the entire community and can fit at least 250 people inside of the school, if not more. Before tomorrow's 7 a.m. mandatory evacuations, first responders went door to door this afternoon urging people to leave as soon as possible. Now, some had already left, but there were plenty who were still packing, contemplating leaving, or had already decided to stick it out. Newton County Sheriff Eddie Shannon says everyone should take this mandatory evacuation very seriously. Now, first responders say there have already been 3 air or water rescues. Sheriff Shannon says floodwaters are dangerous for those first responders and those who are stranded. And although the school is not set up right now, the county officials are still making plans to have that up and running here at Deweyville High School by tomorrow morning's mandatory evacuation. Live in Deweyville, Ryan Henson, 12 News.
Thank you, Ryan. There is no question Deweyville is bracing for record flooding. The Sabine River is expected to overrun its banks by at least 9 feet by Wednesday. 12 News reporter Leah Durain talks to some homeowners who are heading for higher ground while others are staying put.
Houses along the Sabine River here in Deweyville are a lot like this one, up on stilts. But homeowners say with the river rising another 9 feet by Wednesday, they expect about 4 feet of water to get into their homes.
It's good fishing if you want to get out there and fish in it.
A calm morning in Deweyville Friday. Only a few raindrops falling onto Highway 12 where Texas and Louisiana meet. But homeowners all across town are racing against the clock, trying to prepare for a wall of water heading straight for their doorsteps.
We ain't seen nothing yet. They better heed the warnings. This is going to be bad.
Bobby Cloud says he plans to ride out the flood with his dogs. He's building a wall of sandbags around his home off 4191. Cloud says all but one spot on his land flooded in 1989, and with this flood predicted at having even higher water levels, Cloud says it will be a miracle if water does not make it inside his house.
Mother Nature just kicking us.
Right on the Sabine River, Ray Cook says he's packing up and leaving. Normally after a heavy rain, Cook and his neighbors can boat out for groceries and other items. But with such a strong flow of water moving in from Toledo Bend, Cook says heading upstream and into town will be impossible.
When the water gets up as high as it's going to get, you can't even control a boat.
Mold and mildew concerns are high on Cook's list of worries, but even scarier, Cook says he fears his home may be reduced to rubble by a wall of water from the recently opened dams.
A great possibility that this will all just be over in the neighbor's house or something.
Once the Sabine River floods its banks here in Deweyville, homeowners don't expect those floodwaters to recede for several weeks. In Deweyville, Leah Durain, 12 News.
Thank you, Leah. If you need to fill sandbags in Deweyville, there is a location on Spur 272 that's near Highway 12. Well, it's currently open. If more locations do open up, we will post them on our website at 12newsnow.com. And when it comes to Orange County, the Sabine River is expected to crest to nearly 7 feet. That is far short of the all-time record, but still considered a major flood stage by the National Weather Service. 12 News talked to Orange County's Emergency Management Coordinator, who says they do have sandbags available 24 hours a day for people who need them at county precinct offices. No evacuation orders have been issued, but the city is recommending people living in low-lying areas to prepare for possible flooding. This severe flooding still leaving many major roads and highways underwater. Here's a live look at the Drive Texas website, which is operated by TxDOT. Any road in blue, take a look at this. Blue means closed. Parts of State Highway 87 and FM 253 in Newton County and FM 418 in Hardin County between Kuntz and Silsbee closed. The severe flooding prompting several emergency shelters to set up across southeast Texas. You saw earlier the one at Deweyville High School. The Red Cross says shelters have also opened in Burkeville, Kirbyville, and Mauriceville. The locations are right there on your screen, and we are posting complete shelter information on our website at 12newsnow.com. And many of you are asking how you can help your friends and neighbors across Southeast Texas. The Red Cross says you can donate by going to their website, redcross.org. And if you can volunteer with the agency, call 832-1644. We have also posted this information on 12newsnow.com.
All the major rivers and bayous in flood stage. The Neches, obviously, back over towards Village Creek, Pine Island Bayou, Cow Bayou, and also the Sabine. Your forecast just ahead.
In a neighborhood crime alert, Beaumont police are trying to track down the crooks behind this smash and grab in Beaumont early this morning. Police say a pickup truck backed into the Express Mart convenience store on the corner of Dowling and Phelan around 3:15 this morning. The criminals were only able to get as far as the parking lot before leaving the ATM behind. Investigators are looking for a green truck that probably has some damage to the back.
I am the resurrection and the life, saith the Lord.
First Lady Michelle Obama and former President George W. Bush among the dignitaries celebrating the life of Nancy Reagan today at a private funeral. It was a solemn procession with a crowd of 1,000 guests to memorialize the former First Lady. She's been laid to rest next to her husband, former President Ronald Reagan. Mrs. Reagan died of congestive heart failure in her Bel Air home Sunday at the age of 94. High school basketball, the Silsbee Tigers are moving on to the 4A state championship. The Tigers jumped out to a 46-23 lead by halftime to defeat Levelland in the semifinals this afternoon, 89-47. Woohoo! Well, Silsbee's defense forced 28 turnovers by Levelland. Tigers were led in scoring by Devon McCain with 16 points and Kalen Barnes with 15. It's the first time Silsbee has advanced to the state championship game. The 4A final will be tomorrow night at 7. 12 Sports' Ashley Elam will have more on the Tigers' win from San Antonio tonight at 6. Way to go, Silsbee.
Excited for them.
Now back to our weather, and caught on camera some incredible new drone video taken from the Toledo Bend Reservoir, pushing out a record amount of water. Take a look at that. All of that water from recent heavy rains, Patrick, flowing downstream, causing the record-setting flooding in Newton County. Incredible to look at, Patrick. Pretty amazing.
I could watch that all day.
Yeah.
And not that.
But it's not the sight people want to see.
You couldn't have said it any better. That's right. But yeah, I don't think I can add anything to that. Record amount of water coming out of the spillway, and it's all going to go downhill right on into, let's see, it's going through Burkeville now. It's going through, let's see, Bon Weir, and headed towards Deweyville for the next few days.
We're talking about historic.
Yeah, since those gauges have been there. So this is serious business.
Okay.
Yeah, devastating it looks like. Well, let's start off on a positive note. And we want to thank Travis Smith, our weather watcher up in Woodville, for sending us this gorgeous picture of bluebonnets. Now, that's the kind of picture I like. Boy, Travis, I'm jealous.
I would love some of those in my front yard.
I would love to live out in the country.
I've come to know Donald Trump over the last few years. He is actually a very intelligent man who cares deeply about America.
And there you have it. Anything can happen in politics, especially during this election season. Former Republican presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson endorsing front-runner Donald Trump today. Trump saying the endorsement is part of his effort to unite the GOP. The Republican National Committee chairman last night also said the party will rally around the nominee no matter who the man may be. Well, new tonight, President Obama delivering a keynote speech in a session at South by Southwest in Austin. The president spoke just a couple of hours ago, talking about civic engagement in the 21st century. President Obama told the crowd of 2,000, right now it's easier to order a pizza than it is to vote. Talking technology, the president talked about the problems with the Affordable Care Act's website. First Lady Michelle Obama will appear at the citywide festival next week. Well, Patrick is back in just a moment, tracking the severe historic flooding along the Sabine River. But first is a live look of Beaumont, courtesy of Cowboy Power Sports, a member of our Medical Center of Southeast Texas Sky Cam Network. Well, shelters are being set up in Deweyville, Burkeville, Mauriceville, so people can, get out of the way.
Yeah, come up out of those river bottoms. Yeah. Looking at Burkeville, 53.8 feet. No changes expected until further notice. Deweyville will rise to 34.2 feet Tuesday evening. Bon Weir will rise to nearly 40 feet by Sunday afternoon, and even major flooding in Orange. They're not bad right now in Orange at 2.4 feet. Will rise to 6.8 feet Wednesday morning, and that will be characterized by major flooding even around Orange. Our forecast for tomorrow, 30% coverage of showers will give it a yellow alert day. Highs mid-70s. The upper low moves out, and then more sun. Warmer temperatures as we'll see highs low to mid-80s. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and just a slight chance on Wednesday. Cold front will near and move through the area coming up Thursday and Friday.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, everyone, for 12 News. Come back tonight at 6 for more flood updates. World News with David Muir starts now.